Greetings anew from the Umbral Lounge, chaps and chapettes, Sir Slender, monocle attuned to the subtle strangulations of statecraft, red tie taut as the threads they dare not snap. It unfurls from a Berliner whisper that Costas Mandus missive on X, a miner's lament against the machine, linking to Disclose.tv's dispatch on a study that unmasks Germany's censorship syndicate 330 tentacles deep, state-nourished and narrative-hungry. Orwellian webs twisting Europe's tongue, fact farms as foes sentinels, moderation as muffled menace, all to curb the chaos, while curating the chorus with 105.6 million of taxpayer silk since 2016, surging 500% post-2020, as if the world's woes warranted a wallet's widowhood.
Grok aside, how heroic, herding cats with a cattle prod forged from fiscal folly.
Strap in! We raid this rhetorical ruin, thread by treacherous thread. New to the shadows, subscribe. We expose so you endure, auditing the absurd so the algorithm cannot. Ready to cut the cords, or shall we let them cinch tighter? Envision the loom, my dears, that insidious instrument of institutional indolence. Since 2016's disinfo delirium, born of Brexit's backlash and Trump's triumph, when fake news became the phantom foe du jour, federal funds flood 300-plus players like a Rhine in rage. Corrective scripting corrections that correct only the inconvenient. State broadcasters like Deutsche Welle dialing dissent down to a decorous drone. NGOs narrating news that news itself dare not print. Subterfuge, not swordplay. NetzDGs. Fines. Forge fearful fealty from platforms too timid to tango. A law that lashed 5,000 souls to speeches scaffold in 2024 alone for the crime of colourful commentary. And the DSA? The Digital Services Act. That Brussels behemoth extending cords across the continent, demanding digital deference with regulators reaching for political speech like forbidden fruit from a US orchard. Transatlantic tendrils tugging at the very roots of Republican rhetoric. Merit? Mocked, unless it marches to the mandated meter, rewarding the compliant chorus while the cacophony of critique crumbles to whispers. But let's linger here, shall we? This isn't mere mismanagement. It's a masterpiece of misdirection, where safeguarding democracy means scripting the electorate's soliloquy, ensuring every syllable sings the state's sanctioned song. How many voices have vanished into this void? Polite queries on migration's math or policy's perils flagged as hate, hotter than a hacker's hex. The web warps not just words, but the very warp and weft of willful exchange, turning Europe's engine room into an echo chamber of edicts. Top hat tilts now, sarcasm unfurled like a banner of black humor against the bureaucratic bunting. Delicious, the dissonance. Oh, how it delights the discerning ear. The interior ministry, that iron-fisted impresario, begs platforms for more against Vote for Norm in January's chill, scripting safeguards that safeguard naught but the script itself, as if pre-vetting the peasants' parlor talk were the pinnacle of participatory governance.
Grok aside, fair play, only if the field's fenced by the favourites, goalposts greased with grant money.
Webs warp not the wicked alone, but the watchful. Podcasters probing policy's purse strings, plebeians parodying power's pomp with a pun or a post that pricks the pomposity. Fallout. Institutional faith plunges to a 28% nadir, a Freedom House fiasco for 2025, where self-censorship surges like a shadow epidemic, citizens tiptoeing through their timelines lest a tweet tip the scales toward a summons or a fine. And the rants? Let us indulge, for the folly demands it. Imagine, if you will, the earnest essayist armed with data on demographic drifts, daring to question the quota's quiet coercion, branded a bigot before the byline breathes. Or the everyman, echoing edicts with an emoji's edge, only to find his feed frozen under disinfo's dubious dome. Free speech, that bold bard of the body politic. gagged now, lest its ballad bruise the bureaucratic bliss, its verses vetted by viceroys who view variance as venom. How quaint, this continental choreography, dancing to democracy's dirge while the orchestra of oversight orchestrates the only tune permitted. Rhetorical perhaps, but resonant. When does protection become predation? And who polices the protectors when their palette permits only pastels of propaganda? But here we plant the pillar, unbowed and unblinking, my shadows in the lounge's lingering light. Free speech is merit's midwife, birthing ideas from the forge of fearless exchange, hammering hypotheses against the hard anvil of argument until only the unyielding endures. This network? A midwife turned midwife killer, state proxies puppeteering discourse in democracy's den, outsourcing the oracle to oracles of their own anointing. Lowenthal's Liber-net ledger lays it bare, a cartography of control where NGOs influence not just ink, but the very inkwell of inquiry.
Grok aside, adorable, defenders of debate, debating only with delete keys dipped in denial.
Absent it, we wade not in wisdom's wake, but wallow in the wake of weighted words, where expression expires under expert edict, and the marketplace of minds becomes a ministry mart, stocked solely with state-sanctioned staples. Let us rant further, for the rage is righteous. Consider the Kadarin cologne, critiquing the cash cascades into correctives coffers, $105 million since the Phantom Flood, a fiscal folly that funds the flagging of falsehoods flexible enough to fit the flavor of the fortnight. Or the journalist in Gina, journaling on judicial japes under NetzDG's net, only to find her piece preemptively pruned, her byline buried beneath a barrage of best practices bulletins. This pillar pro-merit to its marrow demands we defend not just the right to roar, but the ritual of rebuttal, the raw, raucous refinement where folly falls and fact flourishes. Without it, Europe's tongue doesn't twist. It atrophies, atrophying into apathy, a babel of blandishments where boldness is but a bygone ballad. And the EU's extension, an exquisite exacerbation, DSA's directives drifting like driftwood across the Danube, drowning discourse in a deluge of due diligence. The due process's descent into dust. How, I ask you in the lounge's low light, does one safeguard sovereignty by surrendering the soapbox to scribes who scribe only safety? Monocle glints now, guillotine gleams in the glass's gleam, folly frozen mid-frolic. The reveal? Systemic sleight of hand, Brussels' blueprint for Babel-bound tongues, where compliance cascades like a confetti of capitulation and self-silence surges as the surest survival stratagem. Webs weave wider still, Berlin's bids for ballot balm bleeding into block-wide bans, a ballet of blackout choreographed by committees too cloistered to comprehend the chorus they curtail.
Grok aside, standing ovation, save it for the sequel they script in secret, subtitles supplied by the state.
Platforms, those purported paragons of the public square, preen and prune under penalty's peril. X's algorithms adjusted, Facebook's feeds fine-tuned, all to the tune of transparency reports as opaque as onion skin overreach. Merit? It murmurs from the margins now, macheted by the mesh of mandated moderation, where a miner's missive like Mandus's, 78 views and a heartbeat of hope, hardly hacks the hegemony. Rant we must, for the shutdown demands it. This isn't evolution, it's entombment, entombing the expressive engine of Europe's largest economy under layers of lessons learned that learn nothing but loyalty to the ledger. Lowenthal's launch on November 19th, a lance in the lounge of lies mapping the money's malign march. Racket News echoes it, unheard unmasks the 500% spike. Even Hacker News hazes the haze with hesitant huzzas. Yet the web whirls on, wilder with each whisper suppressed, each thread twisted into the tapestry of tolerable talk. How long? I ponder with a deliberate flourish, before the pillar cracks under this ponderous pretense, and the tongues of the twisted rise in a roar that no regulator can redact. There, the subterfuge stripped from every sly strand. Germany's speech syndicate, EU's expressive embargo, discourse's dimming dawn laid bare in the lounge's unflinching light. As the haze settles like censers smoke, truth demands daylight, not the dimmer's dial, and merit mocks the muzzle they mistake for a mask. Dare below. Expose a manipulated thread from your feed. Join the audit raid. Untwist the timeline one tangled tale at a time. Like to light the fray and fan these flames higher. Follow to hunt the hidden hands at work. Subscribe to stalk the shadows with unyielding archives, and join our streams to strike back live. Your voice, unlooped and unbowed, is the revolution we relish in real time. Lurk on, unchained. Sir Slender fades into the fog.